Okay, so I'd like to welcome everybody to our meeting. I know that this is something everybody here has been anticipating for the whole weekend. Not really. I know, you just got pizza to come in here. Anyway, this presentation I'm going to give on today, the theme is assuming the good and doubting the bad. I don't know if any of you have seen that talk by Elder Holland or not.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Great talk.
So to introduce that topic, I wanted to introduce you to Natalie. Natalie's my sister-in-law. She's also a mother and a wife. She's got 4 kids. This picture she's only got 3, but she finally got a girl eventually. Anyway, this middle child right here is who I really want to talk about. His name is James. And James, you would never guess by looking at it, but he has autism. He's diagnosed with autism. And so it makes it kind of tough when they go out to stores, when they go out and try to buy things at the grocery store, because he acts differently than a normal kid his age would act. And a lot of times people just don't understand that, and they make quick judgments. Well, one day they were going through, the whole family, except for the husband because he's doing a lot, but the whole family was going through a library, and a man sees the family. James is actually having a pretty good day that day. But he finds it important to go up to Natalie and tell her that she needs to learn how to start using birth control. Now, I don't know anybody in this room, would anybody think that's okay thing to say? Nobody would. That's an awful thing to say. But what if, my question to you would be, what if you just thought it? Is it okay to think something like that and not say it? Is that all right? Elder Holland talks about this exact topic that you guys kind of said you heard the talk. And he says, think the best of each other, especially those you say you love. He says, assume the good and doubt the bad. So even just think the good when you have the opportunity. And I don't think we do that naturally. I don't think it's just something that happens naturally. I think it's a process, and it's something you try to get along with. When you're married, sometimes it's hard to assume the best of somebody that you're with all the time when you think you know what they're thinking. That's the next question would be, but what if? That's great in principle, assume the good and doubt the bad, but what if chances are you're right? You're pretty sure you know it. You drive through somebody that's homeless on the side of the street, and you're pretty sure you know that guy's situation. You see him there all the time, he's probably got plenty of money, or any other situation like that. Does that change the circumstance? Is it now okay to assume the worst and doubt the good? When I was interning at Southwest Airlines, if anybody's ever been an intern before, it's a lot of pressure. Because every single day you want to do your very best. Well, I was given this assignment to crunch like hundreds of numbers and take it to my boss and show him this is the sum total. So I crunched all the numbers, and then I just double-checked myself in Excel, and I was wrong. Well, at least Excel was different. So I did it for hours upon hours. And I consistently got different than Excel. So I went and told my boss, his name was Seth, and he came down to the cubicle. And I said, Seth, I don't know what to tell you. I've been working on this for hours, but Excel says something different than I say on pen and paper. And I'm using a Google calculator manually. Now, if you were given this option on a test here at school, and you were to choose between who was correct, whether it be me, on my pencil and paper, or Excel, what would you choose? Who would choose B? You can raise your hand if you're going to choose Excel. Is probably right. I mean, I would choose Excel too. Raise your hand if you would choose A. You're better than me. That's awesome. You don't even need the presentation. But most people would choose B. I mean, for crying out loud, it's a computer. It lives numbers and it breathes numbers. Well, Seth comes in the office, and I'm explaining this to him. And the first thing he says was, well, the computer's probably wrong. The computer's probably just off or something like that. Like, how would you feel being an intern and your boss stands up for you like that and takes your corner? I felt like this guy, a little bit less handsome, and probably has the top shirt button. But I felt like him. I felt like I had a whole team behind me backing me up and cheering me on and assuming the good in me, even at a corporate level. Man, it just felt so good. It felt so rewarding. Now, Elder and Sister Christofferson came, and they actually gave the story kind of similar just recently. Sister Christofferson, she talked about being in Brazil. While they were there, a lot of times, has anybody ever been in Brazil? Anybody served a mission there or anything like that? Usually like 1 in 4 at BYU served there. But anyway, I served there. So anyway, they were driving down the road, and a lot of times people come up, vendors come up to your car and try to sell you things like treats, try to wipe on your windows or whatever. This one girl comes up to the car, and she's got super tight jeans on, this really low-cut shirt hanging off her shoulder, just really, to our standards, immodest. And she started thinking that right off the bat. She said, oh, the poor girl, she just doesn't understand modesty. She doesn't understand. She's just not doing the things she should. And as soon as she started thinking of that, interestingly, she had this bigger than her, more divine voice come to her head that said, you have no idea. If you could sit in a room with her for 5 minutes and just talk, it would change your life. I love that girl. was just, it was life-changing for her. She totally changed her perspective on assuming the good and doubting the bad. Even when, so just as we talked through this presentation, even when all the numbers say you're probably right, even when it's so easy to assume the bad, it takes a bigger person to assume the good. And that's the message I want to leave, because it changes lives, it changes the world. When you start assuming the best in people in all circumstances. Like in these two, it's so easy to look at somebody that's young, that's just, you know, kind of a bum, that, oh, they got family that love them, they'll take care of them, we'll just leave them, somebody else will take care of them. But no, you reach out and you help. Somebody that could be wasting all their money on drugs or on alcohol, no, you take your shoes off your feet and give it to them. Just assume the best in everybody. And it is a process. There's no sort of magical drink that you can take. All of a sudden the next day you're assuming the good in everybody. Every single day is a new day, it's a new challenge. And my challenge for you would be to go out there and try and assume the best. Try and assume the good in somebody. Even if that just be something very small. As we go through that throughout our lives, it'll change our lives, it'll change the ones around us. Thank you so much.